Today, we're reviewing a new release from VS Factory, the 126720 Sprite. This model comes on the 5-link Jubilee bracelet. In the future, a version on the 3-link Oyster bracelet will also be released, which should be available after a short wait. This particular style is widely known as a left-hander or Destro. It's especially suitable for watch enthusiasts who are left-handed. It's designed to be worn on the right wrist, but wearing it on the left wrist is also perfectly fine. However, during wear, frequent wrist bending might cause the crown to slightly dig into your wrist. This isn't a major issue, it really depends on your personal preference. In my opinion, having the crown on the left side is only slightly inconvenient when making adjustments. For a left-handed person, adjusting it is very convenient. For a right-handed person, it's less so. However, its power reserve is quite long. Once you set it, as long as you wear it daily, frequent adjustments are unnecessary. You would only need to reset the time if it hasn't been worn for more than 3 or 4 days. A watch like this is very eye-catching on the wrist and easily draws attention. Firstly, because of its dual-color bezel design, black on the top half and the vibrant green on the bottom. Similar to the green on the Hawk Submariner, it has a black dial, and the crown is positioned on the left side of the case, which is unconventional compared to the traditional right-side placement, making it more unique and noticeable. Next, let's examine the craftsmanship of this watch, starting with the bezel. The tightness of the bezel and the crispness of its clicks are excellent. This is currently the version with the best bezel feel among the GMT Master replicas. It feels slightly firm, and the sensation between each click is very distinct, accompanied by a crisp sound. Furthermore, the manufacturer has highlighted changes to the bezel's teeth for knurling. The shape is different from the bezels on older GMT Master models. Here, the opening of the teeth is slightly smaller, and the angle is a bit wider. It's not completely flat. This execution is correct, confirming it matches the genuine design for models like the 126720 or 126710. The edge of the crystal is also consistent with the genuine version. The top features a slightly rounded finish, while the middle section has a beveled chamfer. This is done correctly. The crystal doesn't sit too high, as it has the proper recessed sunken profile. These are all aspects that are very close to the genuine watch. Regarding the bezel colors, for the black part, you don't need to worry about any color discrepancy. Now, looking at the green section, the color difference isn't very significant. Overall, the color is slightly lighter than the genuine version. The vibrancy of the green is a little less pronounced. The genuine watch has a more vivid green effect. However, this difference is not huge. When looking at this replica alone, it doesn't immediately look fake. There's no major color issue. After all, the color tone is the same, with just a slight difference in shade 1 being darker and 1 lighter. Some enthusiasts might worry, will people be able to tell if I wear it? Well, it depends on the situation. If you wear this watch by itself, there's no problem at all. From a normal social distance, it's virtually indistinguishable. But there's another scenario. If you have a friend who owns the genuine version of the same model, and they see you've bought the same watch, perhaps at a gathering, friends might compare watches or cars. If both watches are placed side by side for comparison, then upon close inspection under the same lighting, a slight color difference will be noticeable. The vibrancy of the green effect is a bit lacking compared to the genuine. Next, the infill for the bezel numerals. It uses a platinum PVD coating, which has a very nice texture, almost like a frosted finish. The color is a bright, silver gray. You don't have to worry about the coating peeling or fading. It's also cleanable over time, dust can accumulate in the corners of the numerals, but you can simply clean it with a soft bristle brush. The water resistance is quite good. With the crown screwed down, rinsing it under running cold water is perfectly fine. The edge of the bezel insert is also accurate to the genuine. The metal border is wider, not overly thin. Now let's examine the details and craftsmanship of the dial. The hour markers at 6 and 3 o'clock have rounded and polished edges. Viewed from the side, the polishing is very fine, with a clearly visible rounded effect. In fact, the edges of every hour marker feature distinct polishing. Regarding the hands, this particular piece shows no obvious burrs or rough edges. However, the finishing on the edges of the minute and hour hands feels a bit lacking. If the edges had a slight polish to make them appear more rounded, it would be even better. The second hand is executed very well. It has the correct flat surface appearance. This includes the counterbalance. It's not overly polished to be perfectly round, which would make the edges look too thin. The key is that the metal border around the luminous material should be wider, which is correct. Additionally, the edges are slightly rounded, not perfectly flat, so it's accurate. The minute hand has a very sharp tip, which is also well made. The hour hand is also fine. The texture of the luminous material is similar to snowflakes, with a frosted texture, which is quite nice. The dial printing is very crisp and bright. The color is also quite It's single quartz as a pure white. The font shape has no major issues. Moving to the center hand stack, it correctly features a mushroom-shaped cap on top. When viewed directly, it resembles a small mushroom. Below that is the central pinion. If you zoom in from the side, you can see the small cylinder, which has a donut-like appearance. But the very top is mushroom-shaped. This construction is correct. As for the day font, the printing effect, when viewed at an angle through a loop, shows a very distinct three-dimensional, raised effect. The font shape, thickness, and alignment are all very well done. The font on the rear hood is also quite bold. It reads 6349Y to L6. For this GMT master, the Sprite bezel corresponds to Y to L6, while a Pepsi would be L3. So the serial numbers are not all identical. The last digits vary, and there are some variations in the preceding characters as well. This is normal and done correctly. The main thing is to check the font shape. The 6 should have a small tail, the 3 should have a flat top, and the 9 should also have a curved tail at the bottom. The finishing on the crown is also quite good. The 3 dots look like small ovals in an arc, which is correctly executed. When the crown is screwed down, there is a small, consistent gap, which is also visible from the side. The shape of the lugs is slightly narrow, not overly wide. This is evident when you have a reference piece. Other versions on the market have wider lugs, and the difference is obvious when they're side by side. But if you look at it alone, you can't tell if it's wide or narrow. So, often, to truly judge the quality, you need to make detailed comparisons. Especially for models with vibrant colors like this green, when the color is very close, the only way to spot the difference from the genuine is to have them side by side for a direct comparison. Otherwise, looking at it while wearing it alone, you don't have to worry about the slight color difference, because the color isn't an immediate giveaway. If it were made in a very light green or a very deep green, then it would reach that instantly fixed state I mentioned. Now for the bracelet finishing, the brushing, let's zoom in. The brush lines are very fine and subtle. The polished sections are also very bright. The side edges also have this rounded polishing. And now, the clasp ... There's a wide gap in the middle, which is correct. The oval shapes on the crown logo are well defined, and the edges here are all smoothly polished. It feels smoother to the touch, without any sharp, right-angled edges that could feel abrasive. All these edges have been polished. Let's open the clasp. The clasp code is A9A. These engravings still have some minor differences compared to the genuine version. However, among GMT replicas, this engraving is considered quite good. It appears to be slightly deeper. After the case back is screwed on, there are no noticeable steps or unevenness. The end link has the correct multi-piece construction. It's all done properly. Regarding this area here, let me explain. It might look dirty inside, and it gets smudged when you touch it. This is because the inside has a bead-blasted finish, which has a textured, uneven surface. It's not extremely rough, but you can feel the frosted texture. So, if your hands are sweaty, it will smudge. This is normal, even on the genuine watch. Then there's this spot here. It has a small groove with some white substance on it. This is mainly because this part makes contact right here, with this little ball bearing when the clasp is closed, creating friction. This results in these friction marks. The white substance is like a lubricant, allowing the clasp to open more smoothly. The opening and closing action of the clasp feels very good. The movement used is the Dendong 3285. The movement's power reserve is 70 hours. Its adjustment methods, the way the date jumps, and the crown's turning direction are all identical to the genuine version. It's a fully cloned 3285 movement, the most accurate GMT movement available on the market. Finally, let's summarize and discuss how enthusiasts who like this model should choose. If you don't have friends who own the genuine version and aren't trying to pass it off as such, and you just wear it for daily commuting or social events from a normal distance, you absolutely don't have to worry about it being identified. However, if it's placed right next to a genuine for comparison, that's a different story. An expert could definitely tell the difference with them side by side. But for an untrained eye looking at it alone, there are no concerns. Oh, and I forgot to mention one thing earlier, the color of the GMT hand. The genuine version's hand has a deeper green color, this one is a bit lighter. And that covers all the other parts. So, enthusiasts who are interested ... can look here. We'll see you in the next video.